This week on Lost Games, we have one of the best third-person shooters I've ever played, Vanquish, a game created by Platinum Games and the creator of Resident Evil himself, Shinji Mikami. Released back in 2010 by that publisher that likes letting its best franchises die. Nope, not that one. Or that one. Or that. It's Sega, alright? Sega. This game is proof that even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. Vanquish is the type of game that at first glance will make your head hurt and your eyes bleed, but once you play it and all the pieces start to click together, you'll feel like an unstoppable wave of destruction. At the start of the game, the comprehensive tutorial will show you everything you need to know to survive, but when you have thousands of bullets flying at you, a giant mech trying to crush you into paste, and an army of robots gunning for your head, that's when it'll all come together. You see, Vanquish isn't your slow, methodical third-person cover shooter. While crouching behind a wall is your bread and butter in other games in the genre, in this game it's more likely to get you killed. Even on the standard difficulty, enemies are decent shots, and to make things worse, there can be dozens of them shooting you at once. So if you're trying to poke your head out from behind cover for more than a second, it'll usually get taken off. Speed and movement is your best friend. Vanquish forces you to use its boost function to get anywhere and everywhere in combat, because if you don't, you'll see that game over screen time and time again. The game also gives you a dodge function, which is pretty useful, but if you aim your weapon at the end of the roll, that's when things get really interesting. Like Max Payne, Vanquish has a bullet time function, which is crucial for landing headshots on enemies and hitting weak spots on bosses. Once you learn to use all these different tools in combat, you'll find yourself dodging bullets like Neo from the Matrix, rocket boosting past missiles, and slowing time to headshot 3 enemies while they're trying to shoot you from behind cover. It's satisfying as hell and makes you feel like a super badass every time. There's a good variety of weapons at your disposal too. Everything from your basic machine guns to a weapon that fires out a giant saw blade to take out multiple enemies, and a rocket launcher that puts all others to shame. You also get a variety of grenades, but being precise when throwing them is tricky without a lot of practice. Weapon inventory is limited though, allowing you to carry only 3 weapons at a time, so choosing which ones to keep and which ones to swap out can be a bit of a challenge. All the weapons are upgradable too. Killed enemies sometimes drop straight upgrades for an instant damage and ammo boost, but if you pick up a dropped weapon already in your inventory, it will add to the weapon's rank and eventually upgrade it. The surprising part is that the game not only plays well, but looks incredible and graphically is on par with games like Resident Evil 6 and Gears of War. The art style of the game is unique, using a lot of white in its environments and vibrant colors for its characters, setting it apart from the hundreds of other gritty shooters that are out there. Character models are highly detailed in both cutscenes and gameplay, and the enemies you fight are varied and all have very distinct looks, so the second you spot them you know exactly what to expect when fighting them and what their abilities are. The engine is solid and holds its frame rate flawlessly. Whether you're in an empty hallway or a wide open area filled with hundreds of enemies and explosions, you will never see the game stutter. Sadly, the game's story isn't the greatest. Even though it's delivered through beautifully done cinematics, it still didn't drive me to figure out what was going on with the plot. Wanting to get to the next big firefight and epic moment was the real reason I kept playing. I really wanted to like it too, because the environments and characters are so different from everything out there that I wanted more background and depth explaining the rest of the game's universe, but it never delivered. It isn't a very long game either. Clocking in at around 5 hours, most people could finish it over a weekend, and there isn't much of a reason to come back unless you're the type to chase that high score. Vanquish is still one of my favorite third-person shooters, and the fact that I can finish it in a weekend is actually a blessing for me, since I can sit down and play for a day or two, finish the game, and feel completely satisfied with my experience. So if you're looking for something like Gears of War or Binary Domain on speed, check out Vanquish. You won't be disappointed. That's going to end it for this episode of Lost Games. If you liked the video, make sure you click the like button and leave a comment down below to let me know what you thought of it. If you want to see more of my videos, just click the subscribe button and come back next week for another episode, or check out what else is on my channel. Thanks for watching, and have an awesome day.
Our business here is done. До свидания.
No! Fuck me.